Good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily analysis video. I just heard Krisha in the background screaming, bearish gold, bearish. Yeah, we will be discussing gold today, guys. In fact, Bitcoin isn't really done much over the past 24 hours, so there's not really much to discuss with Bitcoin. But hey, there is a few things I do want to talk about. That being said, I also want to thank you guys for commenting underneath yesterday's video, letting me know your thoughts, letting me know that you guys still prefer the daily videos as opposed to me doing a video every other day. So yeah, thank you for that. I do take those comments very seriously and I will be replying to every one of those comments. I just had a very busy day yesterday, so I wasn't able to get on that. I will be getting on that right after this video actually. So again, thank you for taking the time to leave a comment. I do appreciate them and I take them seriously. So if you guys have any thoughts whatsoever, even if it's something like, Sean, you're having a really bad hair month, get a goddamn haircut. Well, guys, no haircuts available. It's Corona freaking month, so cut me some slack. Actually, that's just an excuse. I was not intending on cutting my hair anyways. This is one of the benefits of being a trader instead of being in the corporate world. You get to do whatever the hell you want. You get to wear whatever the hell you want. You get to grow your hair out, but the maintenance is actually a pain in the ass. That being said, let's talk about some actual Bitcoin now. Here we have the Mango Research dashboard, and hey, what do you know? Bitcoin is still saying the trend is towards the downside, but the other coins over here are saying long, right? So we do have some things to think about. Let's start with the Bitcoin chart right over here, and we'll be starting with the weekly. And the reason I want to start with the weekly is to make sure you guys are looking or keeping an eye on the bigger picture and not forgetting what's going on the higher time frames. And we are actually closing a weekly candle tomorrow. What do you know? So what is going on over here? If Bitcoin closes this weekly candle anywhere around this region over here, it would have officially done something significant compared to what it has done over the past 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, right? If you notice, over the past 4 weeks, essentially over the past month, right, the prior month, Bitcoin has kept shooting into the 7,000 region and kept getting rejected, right? It kept closing underneath 7,000 even though it lived in there for a bit, right? On this candle over here, we went all the way up to 7,129 and closed at 5,800. This one, 7,000 again, closed at 5,800. This one over here, we got a little closer. Short into 7,000, closed at 6,700. Last week again, short into 7,400 actually, and closed at 6,900. This week, we have a chance of closing into the 7,000 region, and that could be significant, right? That would be different. Now, is that enough to turn me bullish? No, but it would be another clue for us, right? If you guys do remember, the first big clue that we were looking for was the close of the month, the prior month, right? We were looking for Bitcoin to defend that 6,380 to 6,400 region. And what do you know? Just into the close of the month, Bitcoin defended that region. And let me go ahead and pull up the daily over here for you guys. And let's pull up, let's find the first of the month, right? And it was essentially around here, this region over here. Bitcoin towards the end of the month had actually shot all the way down to 5,800. But towards the close of the month, Bitcoin popped up and defended that 6,400 region, popped all the way up to 6,500, retested that region on April 1st, and then ever since then shot all the way towards the upside. It's been trending up. So that was a significant region. That was our first clue, 6,400. Can the monthly defend it? We saw the defense that we were looking for. Now, just because we saw the defense didn't mean that Bitcoin was going to shoot right on over to the upside immediately. Yes, it actually ended up moving to the upside. But remember, guys, again, I want to emphasize this. The month has 30 days in it. It could very well go to the downside and still pop on over to the upside later towards the end of the month, right? So you always have to be aware of that, the duration for the candle to actually see it through. And for now, Bitcoin does seem to be reacting to that monthly defense. In fact, if you do look at this candle over here, right, that actually surprised a lot of people. I was a little bit hesitant around the 6,400 region, was because of our monthly, right? We started off our month pointing out that 6,400 region. So when we actually came down there, I was looking for Bitcoin to break it, but I was hesitant. And what do you know? We bounced right off that 6,400 region very, very aggressively. So this now has proven itself to be a key area. Bitcoin losing 6,400 will have spillover effects. Probably next level will be 5,800, 5,900, right? These candle closes right over here. Now, I want to take us back on over to the weekly, okay? We're looking at the weekly over here, and we were talking about how closing 7,000 region, closing into the 7,000 region would be significant, but not significant enough. That being said, let's go ahead and mark out a nice cluster area over here first. I'm looking at this cluster of consolidation that we had before our move all the way up to 10,500, right? You can simply mark it out like this, okay? Very, very simple. You can mark out the wicks if you want to, or you could simply mark out the candle closes along with this wick over here that I would personally mark out. And I don't want to get into why, but if you guys are in the Mango C program, you guys know why I would mark out that wick, right? And then stretch it out, and that's how you have your range. Now, do you need to mark out this wick? No, you could simply play off these candle closes as well, and you could mark off 6,847 or 6,900. In fact, let's do both. Let's mark off the wick and let's mark out these candles too. That way we have the mid of our range as well, right? So we have the top of our range, which is sitting at around 7,400-ish. Did I mess that up over there? Yep, I did. Okay, there you go. So it's sitting at around 7,557, and it looks like we almost got to the top of the range over there and got front run a little bit. And hey, looks like we almost got to the bottom of the range as well and got front run a little bit, right? So front run on both sides, and this is actually perfect because when we do switch on over to the gold trade, I do want to talk about something that relates to that. But for now, let's stick to topic. All right, so we've marked out our range over here, and if you guys want to be a little bit more conservative, in fact, I do recommend doing this. Simply go ahead and mark out the wicks at the top as well. So we already marked out the wick at the bottom, right? So you can go ahead and be a little safe. Mark out the wick at the top over here, and then stretch it out, right? You'll see that this probably lines up with these guys over here. There you go. Okay, cool. So now you have a nice range to play with. You have 7,750-ish towards the upside and around 6,400-ish towards the downside. And hey, these are weekly levels, right? Does 6,400 confluence with anything? Yes, we just talked about it. It confluences with our monthly level. Okay, so we want to see that confluence. Basically, that confluence gives us confidence to take trades in one direction or towards the other, right? And how do you take your trades? You basically look for longs on support, or you look for shorts against your resistance, right? So your resistance over here is around 7,700 based on the weekly, and you have 6,400 based on the weekly as well as the monthly. There you go. You're getting your confluence. Now let's go ahead and turn on our Mango ribbon to see if there's any exponential moving average or moving average that adds to our confluence, adds to our confidence. Turn on the Mango ribbon and come on. If TradingView wants to load, and what do you know, the 21 EMA coming very, very close to the top of the box over there. I do really like that. Tenkin, not really in the middle of the range over there, middle of the entire consolidation actually, and that's where Bitcoin does seem to be seeing its resistance. Now, we did talk about the Tenkin on the weekly in our previous videos, especially the previous one, right, where it has given us some really good trades towards the downside as well as towards the upside. It pretty much dictates whether Bitcoin is in a long-term bull trend or bear trend, even more so than the 21 EMA in my experience. As you can see, if Bitcoin's above the Tenkin, it is pretty much bullish, right? As soon as it lost it over here, that was your first clue that, hey, I am likely going to stay bearish the entire way through the bear market. You had one slight fake out over here. The Tenkin on the weekly got it way better than the 21 EMA, which is why I'm such a big fan of the Ichimoku. Even over here, guys, as soon as we lost the Tenkin, that was a big sign to go bearish. Now remember, at the beginning of the video, we talked about how our next clue would be if Bitcoin closes into the 7,000 region. That would be even stronger if Bitcoin closes above the Tenkin, coming in at around 7,150-ish, 7,200, right? So if Bitcoin manages to do that, then it's game on. Then we can start looking for, well, our next clue, because we still do have a few other things that we need to contend with, but that would be really strong, right? Okay, so now the question really is, okay, Sunday is tomorrow, right? If we close, are we going to close the weekly above 7,200? is Bitcoin showing us signs? And to find those signs, we're going to dig into the lower time frames. We'll start with the daily time frame, and I do believe I have the tab opened right here. Yep. Okay, cool. So here we have the daily time frame. Okay, we are looking for signs to see whether Bitcoin wants to make that next leg into the 7,200 region, right? That would give us the confidence. It needs to close the week there, guys. It needs to close the week there. It can't just go up there and then shoot right back down. That would actually get me even more bearish, right? So are we seeing signs that, hey, Bitcoin wants to move to the upside? Now, here we have the daily, and Bitcoin has been having a nice wave-like trend towards the upside, right? Let's go ahead and draw it out for you guys, right? Like this, okay? So what we have here, just simplifying it way too much, by the way, we basically have a higher low compared to this low, and we have a higher high. Okay, that's really good. Now Bitcoin wants to put in another higher high over here, right? Well, we want to see Bitcoin put in another higher high. I don't know what Bitcoin wants to do. We are trying to figure that out, right? So if you are a bull, you're looking for Bitcoin to put in a higher high. If you are a bear, you don't want Bitcoin to put in a higher high. What you want to see instead is sell pressure and Bitcoin to fail to make a higher high, and instead have this as a lower high, right? So what are you going to have? You're going to have your low, your lower high, your higher low, your higher high, and then a failure to make another higher high, but instead putting in a lower high. And by the way, guys, call this pattern what you want to, but this is the psychology of a head and shoulders, right? Maybe Krisha can confirm that for us, but it really doesn't matter what the name of the pattern is. You guys know I don't care about naming anything. If you guys are on the C program, you guys know about how I literally, right, even when it came to candlestick analysis and even the upcoming modules, I don't buy into any of those naming conventions. I start with the underlying fundamental concepts and we derive everything from there. In the candlestick analysis module, for those, and I'm talking to you guys in the C program right now, you guys saw, right, how we started with a bare bone candle, right, bare bone candle, and from the concepts, the basic fundamental concepts, we derived every pattern on those candlestick analysis sheets that everybody plasters onto their walls, and they try to memorize all those candlestick patterns, right? You don't need to memorize anything, guys. You need to understand the fundamental concepts, and from that you'll see how easy this can be, right? And it becomes easy, guys, because your decisions become easy. Okay, you're stress free because you know what's going on. Because you won't end up with any decision fatigue trying to figure out, is this that pattern or is this pattern? No, it doesn't freaking matter. I don't care what pattern this is. If we put in a lower high over here and then break this towards the downside, it doesn't matter what the pattern is, right? When you're putting on your trade, are you putting on, hey, I am going bearish? All right, let's say you're trading on BitMEX, right? Okay, BitMEX, I'm going bearish. All right, and my thesis is that this is a head and shoulders, okay, and because it's bearish and it's a head and shoulders, I am looking for profits to the downside. BitMEX doesn't freaking care if you think it's a head and shoulders. BitMEX only cares whether you get the direction towards the downside, because if you get it right, it'll give you money. If you get it wrong, BitMEX will take your money. That's all that matters. The direction that your thesis rather, is able to decipher. All right, that's what matters. All right, so going back to what we were talking about, on the weekly chart, the bulls are looking for Bitcoin to close about 7,200. Bitcoin in this region over here is sitting at around 7,000 and let's say 7,100. Okay, 7,100. The bears want to prevent Bitcoin from taking out this region over here as well, because they want to prevent Bitcoin from putting in a higher high, right? So you're seeing how all the pieces of the puzzle are fitting together now. Not only are the bears incentivized to keep Bitcoin from closing into that major weekly region, if Bitcoin puts in a candle close above 7,350-ish, it's going to line up with Bitcoin closing a weekly above the Tenkin, right? So you're going to see Bitcoin close above the Tenkin on the weekly, as well as put in a high compared to these candles over here on the daily. So that's how you see the cascading effects, and that's how you see the continuation of the trend. Okay, so I hope that didn't confuse you guys too much. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Of course, there are far more. I'm simplifying it. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when trading this. So I just keep that in mind. the entire point of this channel is to educate you. You guys aren't supposed to be using any of what I say as trading signals. You will get into trouble. I don't know what I'm talking about. I am a complete moron. Okay, so now we looked at the daily, we've looked at the weekly, we know what you're looking for. Can the 4-hour show us anything that gives us a further clue? Now, again, I recommend you guys just stick to the weekly and the daily. If you guys are new to trading, don't dive into the lower time frames. What I'm seeing is people go into the 4-hour, then they go into the 1-hour, they go into the 30-minute, and they just get stuck trading the 30-minute. Don't do that to yourselves. Don't do that to yourselves. It can be done. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's just not worth it, man. It's just not worth it. Okay, so what does the 4-hour look like to you? The 4-hour. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing, guys. Now, if I was looking at the 4-hour, right, I would be looking. I was initially actually, and I still am. I was looking at this trend line towards the upside over here, and this trend line towards the bottom over here. If you're using candle closes, I guess it is more of a wedge, falling channel, whatever. Right now, you broke this to the upside. We broke this trend towards the upside, this falling trend towards the upside, and you can see the volume confirmation over here too. But what's confusing me, right? What's not clear to me, and this is why the lower time frames are usually unclear. We're not seeing the continuation. You're not seeing the continuation over here. It's spending a lot of time. We got the retest, got the move to the upside, but was this a rejection? Was this the rejection at 7,200 region, right? And this lines up with that weekly level that we're looking for, right? Maybe that was it. The weekly tanking got rejected, and the bulls don't have any more gunpowder to keep this going and to keep trying. Now, again, this is a lower time frame, so we can't get ahead of ourselves, but we're seeing clues, right? We're seeing clues, and even still, the bulls may redeem themselves, so be very careful over here. We are seeing higher lows, but we're seeing lower highs as well, right? So symmetrical triangle, this could go either way. Now, another way that you could be drawing this, and I'm not too sure about this, is something like this, right? In this case, it doesn't really tell you much. If you want to keep your life simple, right, just use simple horizontals, guys. Okay, simple horizontals, and you can see a clear area of support and resistance over here, right? We've used it really well, and there you go, right over here around 7,160, right? We bounced off it a few times, consolidated on it, gave it up, and went on over to the downside. Over here, use the resistance and moved on over to the downside. Now we're using it as resistance yet again. Okay, so again, you can adjust this a little bit. Actually, you can mark out a zone. Let's go ahead and mark out a zone, something like that, I guess. Yeah, to be honest, just closing above 7,150 should be enough. Okay, closing a couple of 4-hour candles into 7,150 would be enough. But again, 7,200 if you really want to be a little bit more conservative, and it will be prudent to be conservative, because you are like, we're going into the weekly. Okay, we're going into the weekly. If we were going only into another daily, I'd say that the next target would be again 7,452. But if we close a weekly above 7,200, I think we could make our way all the way up to 8,200-ish, 8,700-ish, guys. So, but I don't want to talk about that just yet. Let's just wait for these candles to actually progress. Then we can start talking about upside targets. But if you're looking at the daily, be looking at this area over here, right? Which is 7,800 to 8,000-ish. Okay, that lines up. What does 7,800 line up with? Our weekly 21 EMA, as well as our big top of the box, right? Go back, rewind to the beginning of the video, you'll see the top of the box is 7,780-ish, somewhere around there. So seeing that confluence, but we need to close either the weekly above 7,250-ish or preferably above 7,400. Okay, so that's our upside targets. Towards the downside, I'll be looking again at 6,500 region would be 6,500, 6,400 would be the first target. After that, 6,150-ish. You guys are probably thinking, where are you getting that from, Sean? There you go. Okay, so somewhere around there. And these are weekly levels as well as monthly levels, right? So, okay, there you go. So these are our downside targets. Underneath 6,100, you can actually mark out 5,900 as well, and that again is from our weekly. You don't see it over here, but you can actually are seeing it over here, right? You're seeing these guys resist right over there. So support in this zone here. So that's pretty much it for Bitcoin, guys. We went through the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour as well. So you guys now know what kind of cascading effects you guys are looking for, either towards the upside or towards the downside. Now let's quickly talk about gold before I wrap up this video. I wanted to keep this video short, but hey, so much for that. And yeah, so I was eyeing this gold trade for a very, very long time, and this looked like clear distribution to me, right? Like, this was distribution. I was just waiting for the right triggers, got the right triggers, took on the trade, and here's what happened. Okay, this is why I want to talk to you guys about this. I got lazy. I got lazy while setting my take profits, and I paid the price, or I would rather say almost paid the price, right? But it was a mistake, and I want you guys to learn from a mistake. Do not get lazy on your execution. Remember, guys, there are 3 parts to your trade, and your execution is part of it. And I got lazy on it, and yeah, I would say I paid the price because I had to wait for it. I had to wait for my profits, rather than maybe I could have had an option to reshort, right? So let me explain what happened. I put on the trade, but I got lazy on my take profit. I was essentially targeting the 1 hour 200 moving average. Let me go ahead and turn on the mango ribbon for that. I have to set the... Oh no, never mind, it's out of there. Okay, so we're basically looking at this red or brownish line over here, this thick line over here. Okay, that's your 1 hour 200 moving average, and I put my take profit, and right over here you guys can see that we got front run. Now I usually never ever put my take profit right on the line, but at that time I did, because I just got lazy. I don't want to think about things, and that's part of the laziness, right? You just don't want to think, and you're letting the indicator do all the work for you. Don't do that. So you want to think about, is this likely to get front run, and if it does, is it worth it? So in this situation, I would have likely put my bid a little higher, and I would have gotten filled on my take profit, and I would have not risked this completely bouncing on me and moving on to the upside. And that has happened in the past. I have not put too much thought into where I'm putting my take profit, and I missed the trade, even though I got the direction right, I got the timing right. On the execution part, I kind of messed up, right? So there's so much to trading that people just completely skip, and they don't talk about in their videos or whatever, in their educational material. But this stuff is important. And I made a mistake over here, and I had to sit through all of this. Right? I saw this bounce. I'm like, are you serious? It happened fast. I wasn't able to react. There are ways to react to it too that I did not do. And when this happened, right, I had to ask myself, okay, do I want to get out of the trade, or do I want to stay in it? Right now, that comes down to whether you are invalidated on your trade or not. There have been times where it bounces, misses my take profit because I was lazy, and it invalidates me, right? So not only did I miss my take profit, but the trade actually goes the other way. So in that case, you got to get out. You're going to feel very, very tempted to get out of your trade or take whatever profits you can, because you're seeing this bounce, right? But what did I do? I got away from the computer. I'm like, I'm not invalidated yet. Okay, until I'm invalidated, I am not going to get out of this trade, because it is still active. All right, it's still active. And I got out. Few hours later, I didn't get out. I mean, I got away from the computer. I got out of the house. Few hours later, it came and hit my take profit, right? But hey, there was frustration and pain that I had to deal with, and that was the payment I paid for being lazy. So don't get lazy on your trades, guys. And right over here, if I was looking for it, but because of the pain and frustration, I was just happy I got my take profit. I missed out on this opportunity to reshort, right? So you're seeing how it has a cascading effect. One of my favorite traders always says it is so important to start right. It is so important to start right, because if you start right, the entire trade goes really, really well. If you guys do remember our Bitcoin trade, right? Let me pull it up. This is the weekly. On the daily, right? This is the daily, yeah, right here, all the way to 10K. You guys know how well we executed the entire way up, right? It's because I got a good start. Or maybe that is just me, but I need a good start, because I've noticed that when I get a good start on a trending trade, it keeps going well for me, right? Because got in at 7,700, then added at 8,200, hedged in the right areas, added around the 9,000 region, got out around 10,000. It was so well done because I started right. And throughout the trade, I was telling you guys about how, hey, trend trades don't always go so well for me, and I make mistakes, blah, blah, blah. But I was feeling so confident back then because we started right. And the gold trade, I did not start right. So, and well, I missed an opportunity, right? Now, let's talk about gold. Am I looking for continuation? I wasn't actually looking for this to continue. I don't think this is going to continue too much. Let's look at the daily over here. I do think we have support over here. Okay, let's clear everything out first. It's not a trade I'm feeling too confident about to have continuation on over to the downside, right? We do have support right over here. We may break, but I don't want to play against this just yet. We have daily support over here, this wick over here as well. We do have simple moving average support over here, I believe. Yep, 10 SMA right over there, right? Then 21 EMA right over, a lot to contend with. Gold has been so strong, so I don't want to, but let's look at the weekly for gold, and it's not looking good. So this is looking like a clear freaking rejection, a trap. When we closed this weekly candle over here, I was pretty surprised actually. I thought we'd see some resistance, and I was telling Krisha, this could very well lead to some trappy behavior. Now, if we take out this wick over here at 1674, I will be looking for gold to come all the way down to 1632. How I trade that, however, is going to be a little bit, I have to put some thought into it. Because this has been a very strong chart, but it is respecting key levels, so it's not. If you guys are interested in gold, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, in the comments down below, do not PM me, etc. Because guys, it's so hard for me to keep up with my PMs, man. I try to, and I do give priority to the guys in seed, of course, but so just because you guys are in seed, don't take advantage of that. Hey, leave a comment down below. Don't be lazy, and it's easier. Okay, so. And by the way, it also helps the channel, all right? You guys leaving a comment down below, the way YouTube algorithm works, it helps the channel grow because YouTube is saying, hey, these guys are communicating with this guy. This guy might be a good YouTuber, right? I'm guessing that's how the algo works. So leave a comment down below, even if it's to tell me, Sean, you're freaking stupid, man. You don't know anything. Yeah, man, I know nothing. But thank you for the comment anyways. And hey, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Throw it a like, throw it a subscribe, leave a comment, do it all. See ya.